you try to work around the choke point one way, then the other. You can't figure out what happens. And a lot of guys give up.
Yeah.
They don't give up like quit the business. Sometimes they do, but they give up in a way that takes their heart off of fixing the choke point, and they start to do stuff that doesn't really matter to the business. It's either going to de-risk it or make it easier to run or make it more profitable, right?
Yeah.
So that's our job as CEOs. We're trying to either improve our culture, reduce risk, grow our profits, or make the business easier to run.
Just tell me when to take off my shirt.
Can you be in the same county as us running? Slow down, bro. 30 feet, not 300 feet.
Pacers now?
Let's go. Pacers. So we went out to go see our brother Steve. He owns a last mile delivery company. He's crushing it right now.
Yeah.
You want to tell the story?
Yeah. He set it up a couple weeks ago. Come check out the operations. I'd never been in one of those big facilities before. Have you?
No, I've never been in, but I've heard about him.
Yeah. So really neat to see how those guys operate. All the automation, and probably has 50 plus drivers, a ton of trucks, probably 30 plus trucks, or maybe just under.
Yeah.
And really good afternoon. Got a few hours to hear how he got started, where he sees it going in the future.
Yeah.
And it's a good time. I was surprised the kind of margins you can still have whenever you've got a lot of employees.
Yeah.
Right? You got a lot of drivers, a lot of uncontrollable things you can't handle. But it's going to be dictated by who needs boxes moved, right?
Yeah.
So it was neat to see. He's got a few years under his belt, went through COVID, crushed it in COVID, as you can imagine. And now sees the steady increase of business as the public continues to shop all your major online retailers.
So what are his numbers?
Yeah, I think it was just under 5, right?
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
Top line, and then he was netting about 20%. So bringing in a healthy 700-800. Sounds like that's pretty norm for the business. I went on BizBike Sell. A lot of other carrier companies have routes for sale across the country.
Yeah.
You see some similar NOIs.
And what's NOI stand for?
Net operating income.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he was good margins.
Yeah.
And I guess he'd been in business 6 years, I think he said.
Right. Yep.
So, and if I remember right, it's 55 employees he's got. So doing really well. So what's his choke point?
Choke point, you got one client
Yeah.
you're gonna serve, and really not a lot of levers for you to pull other than I'm gonna cut costs. I'm gonna be the driver. I'm gonna be the operator. I'm gonna do everything.
Yeah.
And, of course, less employees because my wife is in the business, my kids are in the business. You're gonna have an opportunity to make some more money.
So, I mean, I guess choke point.
Yeah.
I mean,
What'd you see? What'd you think?
Well, he's only got one client,
Yeah.
and that client will not let him have more business.
Yeah.
And there's no way to go around it. It's just a policy.
Yeah.
It's a really big client. They don't want to have they don't want to have a key vendor risk. in any one facility. And so they spread out the business.
Right.
So he's kind of capped.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a unworkable choke point.
Yeah.
Successful business, but
And you know, sounds like the head boss isn't happy with you, you know, for higher up. They can come in and just restructure the whole operation.
yeah.
I have a question. Are all the trucks, everything that he runs, is that his own personal property, or is he like licensing it all out? Like the trucks,
He leases all the trucks from his customer.
really?
So he owns none of the equipment. He even the maintenance on the vehicles
It's done by the customer.
is done by the customer. So he's like he has to insure the
Tires,
truck.
gas, everything taken care of.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So does he have the infrastructure to add on other players? Like, does he even have the capability to do that? Because then he'd have to enter an entirely new, like, inventory, supply. He's got to figure out all the back logistics of it.
Well, there's 5 other competitors who have the same contract he has in the same facility he has it. And in order for him to grow, two things would have to happen. One of those 5 contractors would have to lose their contract, and he'd have to persuade the company to let him have their spot. Okay. And neither one is ever going to happen because they're 6 years in. No one's ever lost a contract.
Wow.
And they don't like key vendor risk, which means if they lost one, they replace them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They raise up a new one. It's also be super easy for them to do it, wouldn't it, Brian?
Yeah.
I can see how they would have trouble finding guys to grab North Dakota or Minnesota.
Right.
But this is a really desirable location.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people from all over the country would swap their territory for this one. So,
Yeah. Right.
So he's got a choke point. And sometimes, sorry,
Is he the reverse choke point for this company, this client? There's no other person who they could hypothetically hire.
Right.
Or if they did hire someone else, the margins for them would be so low, it'd be pointless type
Right.
thing, or so high that.
Yeah.
No. So,
Right. Temporarily, right? They need somebody tomorrow morning.
They
people are going to see.
I do think it's important to look. I know it's a single point of failure for him, but
Yeah.
if for his client, it's tons of work to get another him.
I think
to replace
they
him.
would divide it amongst the 5 other guys.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
They've
no
got
risk
it in
to
the
them.
market.
Okay. There's no risk.
They also have a national strategy. They're putting new guys on every day.
Yeah.
So they're leaving themselves with no risk, leaving all the risk with the contractor.
Yeah.
So this choke point, which you cannot get around. I mean, we see guys like this, right?
Yeah.
You try to work around the choke point one way, then the other. You can't figure out what happens. And a lot of guys give up.
Yeah.
They don't give up like quit the business. Sometimes they do. But they give up in a way that takes their heart off of fixing the choke point, and they start to do stuff that doesn't really matter to the business. It's either going to de-risk it or make it easier to run or make it more profitable, right?
Yeah.
So that's our job as CEOs. We're trying to either improve our culture, reduce risk, grow our profits, or make the business easier to run. One of those 4 things. And when guys hit a choke point they can't solve, which this one's unsolvable. I just don't see how you can get around it.
Yeah. But when you're doing well and the company's treating you well,
Yeah.
they're giving you a 20% margin because they're paying your bonuses, you're meeting the KPIs they've got,
Yeah.
then good business.
It's a great business. Yeah. But what guys end up being like, but I gotta do something.
Yeah.
And remember,
I gotta improve. I gotta get, hey, I'm sorry, your margins aren't gonna get much better.
yeah.
You can't suddenly come up with a new product line or something adjacent. You know, move laterally, move vertical, and add some more features or upsell some products.
Yeah.
What is something that you thought he could improve on. No, that being said, what's option 2 for him right now?
Okay, so he's desperately looking for option 2.
Yeah.
And a little more backstory. This guy used to have like a technical job, got tired of it like 20 years ago, and opened up a retail business, the restaurant space, which we would have told him today, don't do that.
Yeah.
And 10 years later, that had burned up all his money. And then he started a home services business, super boring, a route business.
Yeah.
Profitable,
That had recurring income.
That's good. No moat, no protected territories, but he grew it, and customers are happy, paid the bills and the kids to college. Everything went great, and then this opportunity came open, and he didn't know if it would be good or not. But 6 years on, the guy's,
Yeah.
$700,000 a year net. That's amazing.
Yeah, killing it.
But technically speaking, a choke point's a choke point. Like,
Yeah.
you can be choked at a good spot, you can be choked at a bad spot.
Yeah.
But if you can't grow your business, you're choked.
Yeah.
But I don't think his biggest issue is his choke point.
Yeah.
I think his biggest issue is his single customer risk,
Yeah.
key customer risk. And he knows that. And that's why he's desperately trying to reinvent,
Yeah.
even though he doesn't really need to. He's
No.
not trying to unchoke the business, which would mean what? I don't know, whining and dining the national executive to try to talk him into, okay, we do have an idea.
Yeah.
How would we unchoke him? Forget about what he should be doing right now. But what if you had to unchoke his business? You had to do it. We know how to do it. What would we do?
Yeah. I think you got to acquire other routes.
And the only way he can do that is what?
He's got to get a family involved.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because the national company, because they don't want key vendor risk, they will not let you own but one route, which means he can have his wife own one, he can have his son own one, and he can 3X friends and family.
Yeah.
That's it. He could also maybe own a 49% of somebody else's route,
Yeah.
right? He could put other people in business.
Right.
I don't know if that would be possible, I won't lie. But I know his wife could do one.
Right or straight?
Straight.
Yeah. If he wants to get unstuck, that's the way.
Yeah. Right. And you stay in the same line of business.
Yep.
You know strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
You know the industry well.
Probability of success, 100%.
Yeah, exactly, right?
No, there's no need to believe.
And then it's just complaining if you had to go purchase the route and you got an SBA loan or
Yeah.
some owner financing thing you got to work out.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's just part of it, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to acquire someone that's already successful, it's part of the cost of doing
Yeah,
business.
you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
Or not. The national is still trying to recruit people. If the son is willing to work in a less desirable state,
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And then you're
Can he
you're the
potentially
remote co-owner, co-manager.
Yeah.
I'd love to be local.
Okay, he
Keep the
would
kids local.
whatever.
Could he start another route? Like instead of acquiring one or purchasing one from somebody else?
Yeah. You're never going to get it local though, because this is the most desirable part of the country. So he could start one if he'll move to Minnesota
Okay, got it.
or Vermont or somewhere, right?
And they're already capped at, let's say, the hot markets, big cities.
Yeah.
Are they
Yeah,
capped or are they
right.
adding more routes?
They're pretty capped.
Yeah, I think they're capped. He didn't say anything about
COVID was peak, man.
Yeah.
And he's saying volume's off like 40%. Profit's up, but and people are easier to the company's easier to run than it used to be.
Yep.
Because hiring people is easier. But
Yeah.
Got it.
okay, so I think
It's a good day. Great guy.
great guy, amazing guy. So I think he's got two problems, and then neither one is a choke point. Okay.
Yeah.
One is he's a builder, and he's
Yeah.
always operating in crisis mode. Every business he started was started with the attitude of, if I don't make this work, my family will starve.
Yeah.
So this guy is a grinder, big time. And
Pacers now?
Let's go. Pacers.
Running says something about a business owner. Running takes hard work. It takes commitment. It means waking up early, doing what you don't feel like doing. We are 7, 8, and 9-figure business owners running 7 miles a day. A dedicated runner makes a strong entrepreneur. Join us as we talk business, strategy, processes, choke points, strong culture. We are each successful in business, connected by a common faith in Jesus Christ, bringing our A game every single day.
Hey guys, if you watch my content, you probably own a business, and I would love to one-on-one with you. I'd love to talk with you about the things I always talk about. 3 things. What would have to be true to 10x your business? What can be done to make your business easier to run? And what can be done to reduce risk in your business? I'd love to talk about those things with you. If you want to just click, there's in the description below, there should be a link to a Calendly. You could set up a free one-on-one with me. Love to spend some time on the phone with you, just talking through your story. Maybe obviously my ulterior motive is to get you to come onto the podcast, but I don't mind if you don't want to get onto a podcast. I'd love to just have a one-on-one with you if I can give you some help. So if you're a Christian business owner, I mean, any size business, any type of business, I'd love to help you. So go ahead and click the link below, get onto a Calendly so you and I can have a talk. I'd love to help you if I can. I love your help with my business if you have some advice for me. So thanks so much for watching. Thank you for being a part of our community.